Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great, and I can hear you too. Hi there. So basically, we are waiting for our lead singer to join the
Okay.
party.
Got Layla
Yeah.
admitting.
Oh, there she is.
Hello. Can we hear everyone?
Sound check.
I'm
She
guessing
can
no.
hear us. Yeah.
Says audio is connecting again.
Oh yeah,
There we
I
go.
heard something now.
yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I heard noise. Noise is good.
We like noise, yeah, we're
Yes.
shoegazers here.
Hey, hey,
Hello.
Okay.
hello.
So
Yeah,
how is the weather in Russia?
Cold and dark and snowy and harsh and whatever. It's
where about
bad.
in Russia?
Sorry? What was that?
Whereabouts in Russia are you?
Do you mean like the cities?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in
Mm,
Moscow, and the guys are in St. Petersburg,
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
the second biggest city in the country.
yeah, Moscow's the capital, right?
Yeah, Moscow is the
Yes.
capital.
I know my geography somewhat.
Sometimes Americans know things. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
We are not allowed to be joking like that. You can do that, and we cannot. That
All
would
right.
be politically incorrect.
Oh, that's no good.
I just assume every country makes fun of us. No?
Not quite. No, it depends. It depends on who you're talking to, in fact.
It's true.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah. Cultural differences for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, Chris was the one that found you guys. So
I actually found you on I think it was a Spotify playlist for unsigned artists.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably it.
And he was like, we should get them on. And I was like, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll get it all set up.
So we are all yours. You can do
Alrighty.
whatever you want with us.
I don't know if you want to say that. No, just kidding. All right. So we'll just get started then. So for listeners' purposes, could you please introduce yourselves and the role you play in the band?
We should start
Arthur,
with the
you
main
can
person
start.
here. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we can start.
I'll go first. My name's Arthur, and I'm the drummer, and I'm the person who is in a way responsible for the arrangements and the overall sound of the band.
Okay.
Yes, I'm Layla. I'm the vocalist, and I'm writing the lyrics, some vocal lines, and I think I'm the soul of the band.
I mean,
yeah,
I feel like the lead singer does have the majority of the soul of the band. A lot of times they
yeah,
are the
yeah.
writers, not all the time, but majority of the time.
Yes, yes, I agree.
And we also have two guitarists and a bass player, but they are
Yeah.
not able to join us in this lovely conversation because their English level is not that good to be actually talking, and for what they want to say, for it to make sense to you.
Yeah,
Our
that's
English
fine.
is not that good either, but we can at least, express
Yeah,
our
yeah.
thoughts in a way they are not able to do that. So we will be speaking on their behalf, I guess.
That's no problem. I mean, I'm patient, so if you have a hard time, understanding our question, we can always reiterate it. So
Okay, that's good.
So
I'm glad to
so
hear that.
So how did everyone in the band meet?
So I moved in St. Petersburg almost 2 years ago, and our lead guitarist and rhythm guitarist are old friends, and we've changed almost 10 bass players or 5 drummers. So Arthur is our, I hope, last drummer in our band. So I found them in social network. Before that, I worked remotely with Moscow musician on my first grunge AP album. So I decided to found some great musicians here, and I found Dana, sent them my demo, and they sent their material to me, and there was great connection with the first sound, and so we're here.
Yeah,
That
that's
was great.
that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I mean, every band has growing pains. So, I mean, if you're on your,
Yeah.
hopefully your last drummer now
Yes. And bass player.
and bass player. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of tough to find a decent bass player and a decent drummer. I believe that's the thing that's quite common in the US too, right? So like every drummer plays in 8 bands, and something like that.
Yeah.
If he or she's good enough at playing the drums, it's a
Yeah,
pain.
I think it's
almost-
common here too that a lot of guitarists want to be in a
Oh.
band, but they already have a guitarist, so they just play bass or learn bass.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Yeah, we have that issue too. So like drummers are a pain always. Guitarists, not so much.
Where did the band name come from?
We've looked at many names, and we found fetters. We look across in Buddhism. They have a great importance in Buddhism because that means the person can achieve nirvana when he's broke his boundaries, his fetters, and we lived in some harsh times, and we feel like we in fetters too. So we saw a very simple but very interesting picture on some resources. I don't remember. And there was a person in fetters on his feet, and the caption was "Fetters in Use."
It was a Wikipedia page actually.
Yeah. Wikipedia. Yeah. Yes.
Good old
So,
Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia. So we realized that there was a great and perfect name for us. So there was a choice.
Yeah. See,
And I think it's pretty unique. Like I am, very much into the idea that band name should be as unique as possible. At the same time, being, really easy to pronounce and quite easy to remember to follow. So I think that name's quite good.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I didn't honestly know what fetters were, so I had to look it up. So I was like, oh, what is a fetter?
Same thing here.
So it made me think and have to actually look it up. So yeah,
Which is great because we want people, to get interacting with us more. Yeah.
Exactly. You definitely want interaction. So we talked about how everyone met in the band. So how did the band sort of form and everything and come together? Like, what is your origin story?
I think that we have a great music taste, in my humble opinion. Yes, and we have a different music taste, and this thing, like, we connected with each other, and we created our music with our mood, with our preferences, and I think it's kind of our superpower. I mean, I like grunge. Arthur. What do you like?
I like jazz.
Like jazz, yes, and
I could hear a little bit of it in there.
yeah. And our lead guitarist and rhythm guitarist love shoegaze and heavy metal. and you know, I think that music connect us. I don't know. It's simple thought, but I think it's kind of who we are. I don't
Yeah.
know how to say.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and speaking of the history of the band, like when it came to be, I wasn't there, but I was acquainted already with Danya, who is the lead guitarist, and in fact, he's the leader of the band. I guess he was interacting with you before, right? So we knew each other, and he would start to bring me some demos, something he recorded at home all by himself. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know. And then I was just, you know, looking at it from the side, from outside, when he had a second guitarist and he found a lead singer and so on. And then one day he would say to me something like, we don't have a decent drummer or something like that. Would you mind joining us? And I was like, not really, because I don't have that much time, you know, and I'm quite busy with having lots of gigs and whatever, because I'm a full-time musician. It's not my hobby. I play in some bands. But when he showed me some of the latest demos, I thought that was, you know, unusual and interesting music to me. And I was like, maybe we can work on some arrangements, you know, to get the recordings done. And then it all kind of went and came together. So
Yeah.
that's how it is now.
Nice.
And now
Yeah,
we're
I
only
mean-
changing best bass players from time to time.
I mean, sometimes it just takes knowing someone, and then a band is, you know, made.
Sure.
So what made you both want to be musicians? Like become musicians?
Oh,
wanted-
that's a tough one.
Okay. Arthur,
Uh,
you first.
yeah.
First.
That's a tough question for me personally, because it's not like I chose to be a musician. I was just, you know, playing since I was like 8 or 9 years old. And I played guitar, and I still do. And then I switched to drums, being at like the age of 15, I guess. And then, you know, time passed by, and I've become so much more, you know, in a way drowned into the music industry. It's like I wasn't trying hard to get there.
Right.
It just kind of got me in. And then all of a sudden, I'm a full-time musician. Okay, that's how it goes. So I've started to, you know, make money out of music when I was like 22. I'm 30 now, so I have, you know, quite a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it came to be.
I'm sure you're a better drummer than I am.
We can check that out.
No, I can't even play
What's
drums.
your band? What's your band?
I don't have a band. I
You
just can't
should
play.
have.
I can't even play drums on Guitar Hero.
Well, in fact, I can play guitars. Oh, I can play drums in Guitar Hero too.
See, I can't
It's
do
too
it.
hard. It's too hard. Okay, Layla, what will you say?
We
Oh, we
lost
can
your
hear
audio.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, we can hear it now. Yeah.
Yeah. As I say, it's for me, I think I have very poetic reason to be a musician, because I grew up in quite conservative society. Then, you know, there are very many boundaries, fetters, if you wish. So I wanted my voice to be heard by other people. And since I was child, I love to sing. My parents didn't see my passion on this. And, you know, when I said to my mom and my dad, I want to sing, I want to be a musician maybe in the future, but they say, oh, come on, just it's not important. It's not interesting, you should, learn some simple stuff, some ordinary stuff, like, economist, or, I mean, some kind of not interesting stuff for me. And then in 25, I realized that I want to become a musician and I want to sing, because in my deep soul things, I realized that I have a great voice, actually, this low voice, the sonorous voice, and I can show to the people what I can, how I can sing, how I can show my thoughts in my lyrics. And so that's my story. Quite. So
Well, you have a beautiful voice.
thanks. Thank you.
It's interesting you mentioned that too. I feel like that's how things were here in the US as well. Like when we were growing up, Jess, back then, if you wanted to do something artistic, they're like, no, you want to go to school, you want to go to college, you want to get a job. And now I almost feel like it's the complete opposite. Like parents are very encouraging of like the arts. And now, at least here in America, I don't know how it is there. All those jobs that parents discourage their kids from, like trades, like welding, plumbers, now we don't even have enough of them in America. They're so few and far between because our parents told us don't learn that, go to college.
Yeah, in a way we had that too. It was a very common thing for parents to try to get their kids to know, like to get the higher education and to be like lawyers or something of the kind. So I guess it's kind of the same for us. And I think one of the reasons why it happened, because we are now in somewhat simpler times. Compared to what it used to be, especially here in Russia, because Soviet Union just fell apart and people were really unsure about what's coming. So they just wanted, in a way, they wanted the best for their kids. I can understand them now when I'm in my 30s. But, of course, at that time, being that kid was kind of disappointing.
Right.
That's for sure.
Definitely.
But I was lucky. I was quite lucky. My parents were not against that. As long as I was able to, have good grades at school, they were like, okay, you can do whatever you want.
What are some local Russian influences on the band, or maybe some international influences as far as other bands or artists?
Tons of them, really. There are tons of them. And what I wanted to point out is that we have a somewhat unique situation when we are getting our influences from all over the world. I don't think it's the same in the US. I don't know nothing about that, but it's what I assume, that we have a tendency to, have our influences from the US and from Great Britain and from Japan and from all other parts of the world in a kind of equal way. What I want to say is that I think American musicians tend to concentrate more on the American scene and like get the influences from there. There's not so much, I believe, there's not so much influence from the Great Britain or from Japan, from Asia, whatever. And we at the same time have, all those influences coming. I personally am a huge fan of Japanese shoegaze music. It's something absolutely unique. And, in fact, Japanese music as a whole is something out of the world. Like, I can't find the right words to describe it. How much complicated the harmony is. How is the whole approach to writing different from what we are used to hearing. So, yeah, a lot of influences come from here. And, of course, from great bands from Great Britain, Slow Dive, My Bloody Valentine, all those, all this indie shoegaze scene. and of course Britpop acts, you know, Oasis, Radiohead, Blur, whatever, and of course a lot of American musicians. But honestly, I wouldn't say that I can mention any American act that would be like definitive for me. It's like American music as a whole. It
Yeah.
sounds in a different way. It also has the unique way of sounding. You can listen to the band and you can tell it's American.
Yeah.
So like the overall sound of that scene, of the grunge scene, especially Seattle scene and whatever. Yeah, that's so it, you know, it comes from all over the world and it's getting this unique blend mixture, and we are trying to convey that.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. Like, I understand that for sure, that Americans kind of take from each other more than anyone overseas and everything. So, yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, we don't have audio again. Try and pick up the mic a little, maybe.
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
So I agree with all Arthur said. I just wanted to say about one influence of our late guitarist Dania. He told me that I told you about them. It's a band called Everything Made in China. Is influenced us simply by their stage presence. You know, in the 2000s, the band was some unique, some did some great and realistically cool music for the local scene, and now they broke up, but our members just remember them and love them, and there was a great influence for us. So he's a fan of Explosion of the Sky. So I'm the fan of grunge, as I said, like Alice in Chains, maybe some Pearl Jam songs, and from new metal, Deftones, and Garbage. I love Garbage, and many people compare them with us, especially me. So it was very honor for me to compare with Shirley Manson. So that was great.
Yeah, I can hear the influence for sure.
Yeah.
So when I reached out, you emphasized that Fetters in Use is shoegaze. Can you explain more what that is?
You know, what I would like to point out is that I believe shoegazing is a term that is something, you know, I would say obscure. Like, we don't have the exact definition of what that is. It is the music, to me, that is trying to concentrate on the sound, on being in a way ethereal or haunting, or, you know, we want, not we, but shoegaze bands, I believe, want people to drown in their music. Hence the name Slow Dive. It's a great definition by itself. The music makes you drown in it. And we kinda want to have the same approach to it. Like, we want people to be 100% in the music, although we want it to be a little more hard than usual, more like having distorted guitars and whatever, mixed with grunge mostly. So it's kind of grunge gaze, I believe.
Yeah.
Grunge gaze. So
yeah, we're trying to mix shoegaze with heavier music. You know, in our interpretation, is our first AP is kind of mix of shoegaze, grunge, and shoegaze. It's like this more reverb and effects and lead guitar, and the album, I think, turned out to be more explosive than shoegaze. But you know, the thing with the album we are writing now, we'll be able to show our shoegaze sound to the fullest, I think. So
Well, we look forward to it. So, what is the underground music scene like in Russia?
it's- I think now Russian underground has survived the crisis and recovering. A lot of bands left Russia of the Ukrainian crisis, and now someone has returned. Someone new has appeared, and but I think in general the number of concert and listeners is increasing every day. So we have in Russia we have a large and strong emo music scene. There's a I think it's shoegaze number of right shoegaze bands increased too. We I can mention some great shoegaze bands from Russia. It's Dog Silent, the sound of classic shoegaze. Marto, it's like a real indie orchestra. Vaja is shoegaze mixed with metal, and my favorite Heavy Plane described themselves like grunge gaze, as I said. But I think it's kind of difficult to describe them. I advise you to listen their first album. They're really great.
Yeah, I guess we
definitely.
can provide you with the links after we finish
For
the
sure.
conversation. Yeah,
For sure.
so you better check them out. They are cool.
Yes.
For sure,
Playing with
that's
them. Yes, it's so amazing.
all what we're about here is discovering new music and sharing it with people. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we have great bands here, but it's true underground, you know.
Right.
It's like it's unpopular. It's not very much very well known all over the world. But we have some acts who, you know, made kind of success in Europe and the US. But I wouldn't say I
Life on
have a
Venus.
band.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on Venus.
Life on Venus. Yeah, there's a band called Life on Venus. Yeah, who were
And
quite
Aerofall.
successful. Aerofall. I don't know about these guys, but I believe, yeah. So
Danny's fan.
we have some bands, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Danny is a fan of Russian shoegaze.
Mm.
Big fan. Yeah.
So with the way you're describing the underground scene and like since becoming a band, how often are you able to get to play a show?
It depends, you know, because there's always a chance to play a shitty show, which we don't want, in fact. You know, a local gig is a thing that it's not quite hard to make, to create the event, but it's not worth it for, you know, many times it's not worth it. Like, we don't want to play a show where no one would come to see us, basically. So having a good show is, I would say, like once a month, maybe something like that.
Got to plan it out ahead of time and get buzz for it.
Yeah, sure. We have to plan it out, and we have, in fact, planned the show for February now. I guess late February, if I remember that correctly. So yeah, we have to plan it. And the funny thing is that I actually live in the other city, so I have to plan my trip as well.
Yeah. Must
And
be
being
tough.
in the US, you know what distance is. Like,
yeah.
Distance-wise, it's kind of not that easy. So yeah, I have to plan that.
No, Jess and I actually have never met in person. We've been friends for 18-ish years, but we live, how far of a drive is it? Like 13, 14
hours
Mm.
away from each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get the distance thing
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, sure. It's like when you're talking to the Europeans from, you know, smaller countries, they do not get that idea that two cities can be very far from each other.
Yeah, because I mean, in Europe, it's very compact for sure.
Mhm.
So, what are some of your favorite local venues by you guys?
That's a tough question because I honestly believe that none of the local venues we have a chance to play at are that good and worth, describing. We have great clubs and we have great concert stadiums, but bands like these do not play there. So
Yeah.
I
So
wouldn't
what venues
answer
have
that.
you gone to as like just a patron, like a concert goer? Have you gone to that you like though?
They are not that special to describe. It's not
Oh,
like this, Elite sphere that we can talk about, right? We just have those stadiums and those big clubs. They are nothing special, in fact, except for, how many people they can get into.
yeah.
5K or 25K, but it doesn't matter. They are not special. If Layla, if you have something to say about local venues, please go. But I just can't come up with something. Actually,
Unfortunately, I don't have to say about this. I agree with you, Arthur, with every word you said. So,
so it's just you see, it's not that bad. It's just nothing special. There's
Right.
nothing to describe about it.
We get it. We get it.
okay.
I would describe that as every venue here in Syracuse. Like, I have my favorite to go to, but it's still nothing special. Like, it's just,
I believe it's kind
Okay.
of the same all over the world, right? So it's just a venue. We play there for people. We have good sound. Sometimes we have bad sound. Yeah, that matters because we can have a sound guy who got drunk and doesn't give a whatever. So that's how it goes basically from time to time. There's even nothing to be talking about. In fact, it's just what we have.
Our
can you
last concert it was great, I think, that because we have an Arthur as a drummer and we have a great bass player as a Slava. Our 5 or 6 bass player, and he's great. And I hope that he will our last bass player too. And we were great, actually. I was very self-critical person, but I was very delighted, and it was amazing. So I can say.
And can we tell guys what happened there? To you, I mean, personally. Can we share these news? Is it okay if we share it?
I mean, sure.
You can share whatever you want with us.
No.
There's no preface as to what this news is, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm asking Layla now because it's kind of,
What? You
a
scared
personal
me.
thing. So in fact, she got proposed at the end of
Oh
the
my
gig.
god.
Yes, so her boyfriend
You
came to
scared
the
me.
stage. Yeah, her boyfriend came to the stage and took a mic and said a couple of very nice and touching words and proposed to her, in fact. And she said
Aw.
yes, and we were
Like
all
American
clapping.
rom-com. Yeah. It was like-
American rom-com. Yep, kind of.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was very unexpected for me. And in fact, that all these people knew about that, and I did have no idea what
Yeah, we
he's
knew about
going
it.
to do. Yeah, like in
Aw.
actors. I mean, actors without Oscars. So
Well, it's more than my husband did when he proposed to me. So
Wait, now I didn't know. I don't know this story, Jess.
me,
Yeah.
honestly, he was going. Our first date ever was at a zoo, and we were on one of those little trains at the zoo that they have. And he wanted the next year. He proposed to me. He wanted to do it on the train, but he forgot the ring in the car because it was hot. So then he ended up just proposing to me at the lakefront, but he didn't even get down on one knee. He was too embarrassed because there were people around. So yeah, it wasn't anything special. So I think getting proposed to at a show while you're performing and everything and on stage, I think that's a little more special.
yeah.
And it was unexpected because
Just-
you had no idea.
Yes, absolutely. I had no idea.
You'll never forget it.
Absolutely not.
Could you walk us through the band's writing process?
Yeah, Dania and Lavrik, our lead guitarist and rhythm guitarist, recording some arrangements in their home, and they sent in our general chat, and I listened that, so I wrote the lyrics, some vocal line, and if we like everything, we just send the Arthur and Slava, and they recording their own arrangements in their home. So then we met once a week on rehearsals and just playing our songs. So it's simple process. Mm, it's all.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
kind of starts with guitar riffs all the time. It's guitar-based music after all. So yeah,
Mhm.
it
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
with some guitar parts, and then they just kind of pick what they like and try to come up with vocal lines. And after the whole process, I am to, make the whole arrangement come together, because we sometimes have things that guys are just not able to, notice in the moment. And I'm a little more into music theory and stuff, so I can hear that and see that, like some nasty intervals or whatever, or the sounds that are missing, or some back vocal lines that we can try to include. So yeah, that's how we do it.
Like a musical genius, Arthur. Made our song as genius as himself. So
Yeah, I believe each band should have a drummer who knows music theory better than anyone else. He doesn't need it, but he needs to know it.
Yeah, maybe they do. So we noticed that the lyrics are in English as opposed to Russian. Is there a reason behind that?
everyone asked us about this. Yeah, we we don't like haters of Russian language. No, of course, but we like how uh, American English language sounds. It's very simple reason why we write and sing in English, and we grew up in foreign language. I never listened to Russian music, in my childhood, and we just like how it sounds.
Yeah.
It's more musical than Russian for me and for all members. So it's quite possible that we can write and sing in Russian in future, but now we just want to do this in English.
Yeah.
That's the reason. Yeah.
There's a huge discussion going, in Russian music industry,
Yeah, yeah.
whether you should, try to sing in English or you shouldn't.
Yes, yes.
And a lot of people kind of blame us for doing that, not because of some, political reasons or whatever. No, they don't care about that, but they,
Yeah.
they are more, I would say, ready to interact with our music when they can understand the words easily, which isn't the case when we sing in English, because, a lot of people in Russia are kind of poorly educated in this field. I mean, in foreign languages. Russian itself is quite hard. And having one more language to be able to speak freely is a rare occasion, I would say. I'm able to do that because I've studied that. I actually have a degree in English translation, written translation, that is. But I know the language quite well, so I can, express my thoughts, what I want to say from the inside. I can use English to do that. And because it sounds better when saying, it sounds much better than Russian. Russian is kind of, harsh. All those sounds,
Yeah, yeah.
they are not that pleasant for the ear. So yeah, if we are able to express what we want to express in English, then we prefer to sing in English too.
Yeah.
But that's what people mostly dislike about the band.
Yeah.
It's not like dislike, but they kind of don't get why we do that.
Right. I understand it. I get how that is. I mean, I've listened to some bands from overseas before, and sometimes they kind of like sneak in some parts that are in their home language and everything.
Mhm.
So that's kind of unique in that way. Maybe you could do that, like throw in a couple things here. A little verse has that. Maybe make the other people happy.
Yeah, if the song allows us to do that, why not? Why not?
Right.
Sure. The Japanese do that all the time, kind of, but they basically do vice versa. They
Right.
sing in Japanese and sneak in English words. It's so funny, when you don't know Japanese, just to be listening to these songs and then all of a sudden they're like, starless night, and then
Yeah.
and you're like, what's that?
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to plenty of Japanese music because I'm really into anime and stuff. So I've heard a lot of Japanese intros for the shows I watched. So
Yeah.
and movies.
It's funny, but I know a lot of American artists will translate a complete song, but then leave the one verse in the native tongue that the song was originally in. And it's so weird. Like Goldfinger did it with 99 Red Balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Instead of Luft balloons.
Yeah.
Yes.
And somehow John learned how to speak or do that whole verse in German.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
Definitely did. Chris.
According to my notes, you
And
got the next question.
What? I have the next question.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll ask it anyway. So what do you hope listeners take away from your music?
The feeling of comfort.
Yeah.
The feeling of being drowned in it. The feeling of, oh, that's a lovely guitar tone. Something like that. Well, it's kind of a personal question, so I guess the soul of the band has to reply.
Oh. It's a very hard question. I'm not. I don't want to be a banal to say. I want to the people feel something and drink beer and have fun music. But I think last concert I had a really intimate connection with the crowd when I sing my own song, and that was really beautiful, and I was so happy that people just felt that, not because they think, oh my god, she's so great, she's so, not my ego stuff, like, yeah, I'm good, I'm great, but that after that the people came to me and said that this music, these songs and my voice just like, they have goosebumps on their skin and uh, felt like they drowning into music. And that was for me is great compliment. I think I'm almost crying because I just realized that I'm here for some reason. Just everything I did, it means something special for people and for me too, of course. So I think there is my feelings about that. So
Ah, you see, that's why I couldn't answer this question, because I'm here just to, beat the living shit out of my drum kit, so basically I have nothing to say about it.
Well, you have plenty to say,
Maybe you'll have something to say about this one. Who would you like to collaborate given the chance? Who would you like to collaborate with?
Arthur said, "Will you collaborate?"
Well, do we mean those who are still alive?
It can be anyone. They
Yeah,
can be
you can
alive.
bring
They
someone
can be
back
dead.
from the dead if you want. I don't know.
Yeah, I see. You know what? We would like to collaborate, first of all, with some great artists in the field of synthesizer-based music, I would say. That would be very interesting, to bring some electronic sounds to that guitar sound that we have. That would be nice. But, you know, I don't have a name to come to mind right now. It's just, you know, a general thought. And it would also be great to try some male singer who would, you know, be singing like a counterpart with low voice, and to see how voices blend.
Oh yeah,
That would be interesting. Like the name that comes to mind is I believe the name is David Sylvian. Do you know this person? He's alive. He's, I wouldn't say he's very well known, but he is kind
Chris
of
will look
known.
it up right now.
I'm already on it. You know it.
Yeah. David Sylvian. He has a very unique male voice. That would be really interesting. Do you know the band Blonde Redhead?
No, I've
Perhaps
never heard them.
you should. You definitely
Well, I'll
should.
have to look it up.
They are from the States, actually, but it's quite interesting. There are three of them, and the lead singer is from Japan, and the guitar player and drums player, they are from Italy, but they're located in the States, and they are pretty well known inside the indie scene. And right now they are touring, so they are not like an unknown band. Their first album, if I remember that correctly, was produced by Sonic Youth's drummer. You know, what's his name? I forgot. So yeah, they're quite influential. I would definitely love to collaborate with them. And in fact, I had a chance to meet them once. They came to Russia in 2017. And I was like, guys, I want to, you know, express so much gratitude for your music. That was cool. So I'd love to.
I must say that I'm now a big fan of the Sweden band called Viagra Boys. I don't know you. So I love them so much. And when Arthur said about low, deep male voice, I remember like Sebastian Murphy, and they're absolutely great. I mean, I'm in love with this guy. So now in my humble wish, my dream, my girly dream is to like collaborate with Sebastian Murphy once. I want to meet him, drink beer with him, and just, you know, kind of sing with him, because he's a great. I mean, I'm in love with these guys. So if you didn't listen to them, I really, really recommended them. Check out. They're
Yes,
great.
definitely check them out. I've never heard of them. I mean, that's what it's about on this podcast. I'm like, I love finding out about new music.
Okay.
So, what is the funniest moment you've ever experienced as a band? Have you had any moments where you guys just had to laugh it off and it was just hilarious, or anything?
We play dark music in cold Russia. How is that possible that we can have
Oh,
fun at
come
all?
on. You can
We
have
don't
some
know
fun.
what fun is. What's the word? I never heard it. Yeah, go on.
I remember two funny things, but I'm not quite sure the funny or sad. As you decide, because
See, that's what I'm talking about, right?
yeah.
She doesn't even know if they're funny or sad.
Yeah, Russian humor. So first time, well, the first thing, funny thing, we played our songs called Scary, and yeah, the collective name. So we spent 3 hours of all our rehearsal to play this song, and we had at this time a new drummer, another new drummer. So he came in rehearsal and played with us this song. So after that, he just stand out, just took his drumsticks and go. And okay, guys, bye. I will call you. I will write you later. Just go and never come back, and we never
Oh.
see him again. So we call him, you know, how will you play with us? And just he's not answering. He just, no, guys. So it's silence, and we laugh. Yeah, but it was kind of sad because he left
Hello.
us. Yeah. So the second thing was the bass player. He was from hardcore band before us, and on the concert, the whole crowd say to him, just please turn the volume down. You're very harsh. Everyone just drowning in your sound, please. And he yelled at them and said, you stand in the corner. I'm a great bass player. You just don't understand. So we were embarrassing what he's doing. And it was like, funny and sad and embarrassing at the same time. But we just, after that, he left us too. So
I was gonna say, is he
Yeah.
still in the band? That's the question.
no, he's not in the band. Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
like he thought he was
so-
a really, really good bass player, and he just wanted to be
Yeah,
heard and no one else.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's kind
I
of
don't
hard not only to find a person who is a decent player, but who is a great human being.
Right.
That's
Yes,
so hard.
yes, very hard. Especially in bass players. I don't know why bass players are so complicated people, so weird people in some ways, but I don't know, just these bass players, like some I don't understand them. So actually, yeah.
It's great that you don't have to actually.
Yeah. Yes.
So my last question for you. So this is pretty much what my life revolves around. Food. So what's some great Russian food that we could try?
It's the toughest question of all.
Yeah.
Truly, it really
Our
is.
heads when we
Is it
fall
because I
down
included the word great in there, or what makes it tough?
there. No.
It's just that, speaking of food, it's it's kind of in a way connected with what I was talking about when I was speaking about music, that we have influences from all over the world. And I honestly believe Russian people can blame me for that opinion, but I honestly believe we don't have that much of Russian, what's the word? Like local food, what
Like a
they
cultural food?
yeah,
Yeah.
like something special. I
Yes.
truly believe we don't have that. We have what everyone knows about. We have vodka. Yeah, sure. Great. But nothing special. We have all kinds of food available to us, like Mediterranean food, Georgian, Japanese, whatever. And I believe that we are, in a way, losing our own cultural aspect of that. I just forgot the word. There is a word that goes like C something.
Symbol, like a
No,
symbol.
no.
A
The
staple?
letter C. The letter C.
Classic.
Cuisine, kashin, what's the word?
Cuisine?
Cuisine. Yeah. That's what I was trying to come up with. I just forgot the word. Yeah, so we don't have it, I believe. We don't have our traditional Russian cuisine.
What's the best Russian vodka?
Come on.
I'm a fan of beer. I don't drink vodka. So.
And I don't drink anything.
I'm not really a drinker
Yes,
either.
so-
I was just curious.
Well, you have to come there one day and try it for yourself.
I actually worked with someone who's from Russia, so she's got dual
Mm.
citizenship. And I don't remember where in Russia, but she just went back not that long ago and visited. So yeah, I don't know where she's from though. So yeah, I think that was our last question, right, Chris?
It was.
Was the food one?
Yeah.
You just kind of did the last question that was the toughest one. And
I
I'm
guess, yeah.
extremely disappointed that I can't say, anything worth the question.
Oh, that's okay.
I can ask my favorite question, see if they have an answer.
He loves this question. He asks it to everyone.
This is my favorite question. So, have you guys seen the movie Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so they say, or Johnny Depp says he got his influence for his on-screen character from Keith Richards.
Yes.
Do
yes.
you have an influence for your on-stage performance?
From Keith Richards or from
From anybody?
For
No.
anyone, like just somebody influenced the way you perform on stage.
Yeah, I can come up with the answer quite quickly, and you may be familiar with the person. You know the band Paramore, don't you?
Yes.
You know their drummer, Zach Farrow. He's a beast. He's just a beast in that. And you know, the way he acts on the stage is what I would describe as a perfect rock drummer. So if you play rock, if you play alternative music, that's how you should behave on stage. That's how you should put your whole soul into it. Like the oldest recordings and live shows he played during their first period of Paramore, it's like 2009, 2008, or something like that. He was just a complete beast. I watched these shows and I'm like, God, how can he actually, work so hard? It's out of this world. I don't have any other major influence as a drummer.
Yeah.
No, there are tons of great drummers, sure. Yeah, and I know lots of names, but no one influenced me that much.
You? She's thinking, oh, mic's not working.
Now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I adore Chino Moreno from Deftones, but he's not quite my influencer, but I really like his moves in his video clips and the concerts. But my favorite artist, I think it's Lane Staley from Alice in Chains. But he was so dark, you know. Dark inspiration for me to present myself on the stage, but I really like how he drawn into his music and his passion. His first concert when he was sober, I think, and not ill with drugs at the end of his career. So I think Elaine Staley and Chino Moreno, my favorite influencers on stage.
I can see that. Nice.
Thank you. And Jim Morrison, yeah, from the Doors. Yeah.
I like how Chris points at his stuff.
Two
You got
Doors
Jim
things
Morrison.
back to
I have
back.
a Set It Off poster.
Oh, yeah.
And a Motion City soundtrack one. Wait, I can't do it. There.
Yes, I can see that.
So yeah, well, I guess that's our last question then. Chris wanted to throw that one in there as a last minute curveball.
And our favorite question.
Sure, that's something we can talk about.
Right.
Not the food.
Yes.
It's just easier to talk about music.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We've had a wonderful time. I mean, I've learned a lot about your band and everything, and can't wait to hear more. You did talk about like you were recording for like a full-length album, you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a timeline at all for that you think you
Late
might release?
spring 2024, I believe. Late spring,
well,
early summer.
We'll definitely keep an eye out for that. And an ear.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, it's great.
No
I
problem.
enjoyed
Thank
all
you.
the questions, really. That's cool.
Thank you for sure.
And if you guys want to stay on after we stop recording and just talk for a little, you're more than welcome to as well.
If you want to.
Sure.
You don't have
if you want
to. Sure.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to stop recording now, so.